we go. We're going to be getting into game one here. It is going to be Ilios actually confirmed for this first control map. Starting off on this Runes Point, one that we don't see very, very often. Squeak with a triple, 2 environmental kills off that map. Make it a third with those guns as well. And Crime and Redix pick up the team kill right at the starting. That's going to be first point going straight over to the Saints here.
Very fast point there for the Saints. Looks like Squeak just on an absolute roll in that hamster ball, making sure to clean up, get work done there. Got, I think, 4 kills there, so.
The ball's on a roll, you say?
Yeah, exactly.
Squeak, you see, soaking so much damage, but he had about 1,000 health to work with there. You can't burst down the ball that fast. It's just not possible. Crime being slippery as ever on the point here as Squeak is actually able to make it back to that second health pack. He was so deep in that Harrisburg spawn there, still makes it out, still providing so much space for his team. Now you're going to see Emran getting in there. He's going to fall to a Kawa, actually. It's all going to be up to these DPS and Redix really to help out on this break, maybe soak up some damage as they can with that shield, but really there's only so much you can do as Brig in comparison to a true tank there. But Redix staying around, keeping the team alive for as long as possible. I believe it's Arjunk there who's going to be on that Zen as Crime trying to get as much damage in here as he can. Pulse Bomb's going to come out, Crime's going to fall, Elk picks that one up. Harrisburg, though, still yet to actually grab the point and make a move here. Yeah,
it looks like St. Clair is doing a great job at holding this point. A little bit of a contest here, but we're going to see the hack come through there. Akawa going to take out Emran. Mine's going to come out as well.
This is tough for Harrisburg. The mines drop. You can't really get onto the point without soaking a whole ton of damage. Akawa getting dangerously low, has to run away. Noxious in the corner on that Sombra. Has to use that translocator as well. Get out of there to safety. But 87%. Harrisburg running out of time where they can really make these escapes and play for time. You have to find one good push. You have to make these ultimates happen. You have to grab this contention. It's 99% overtime now hit. Harrisburg in a desperate position here in round 1.
Yeah, Squeak just making sure to keep everybody off the point, trying to make sure that overtime ticks down. Arjun doing work.
Yeah, Elk actually fell in the corner to Squeak, and that Discord Orb helping a ton with the fact that this ball is just impossible to try and kill in the end. Ball gonna end up actually taking out Arjunk. Now, Squeak on the point, using this grappling hook. Just disruption, disruption, disruption. Has the mines back up, tosses them back down. This is your final hold, Saint. You really got to make this happen as the ultimate's starting to run away from you a little bit. Harrisburg, all of these players making these rotations on really, really good timing. Still can't take down Elk either. Squeak's the only one on point here. He needs some help from his team. That's going to fall, and Harrisburg now going to grab this point, but 99% the Saints just need one wipe. Even 1, 2, 3 player kill, and it could be all over for Harrisburg.
Absolutely. Emran, gonna see if he can get a kill onto the Moira here or the Lucio. Not quite gonna find anything, so he's gonna back out of there.
Emran using that boost jump from the Sojourn. We haven't actually seen Emran on the Sojourn in a good while, and getting actually bursted down by a Lucio. We're not going to see him on that Sojourn for a little bit more in this game. Akawa picks up a double. Divio finishes off Redix, and Crime and the rest have to clear out. Now you kind of just got to wait for this 5-man respawn. Not sure how much ultimate they really have to work with. Squeak pretty low here. Has to just wait for that Orb of Harmony. He spots 2 out, not able to really find a knock-up on those. The Moira's going to be out of there as well. You got to make some kind of push happen, but with 2 picks at the starting, Harrisburg really turned this round around.
Yeah, Saints are forced back into their spawn. Not the kind of situation you want once you had that dominant lead in the beginning of the round.
I mean, 99%, you get cleared off once, and now Harrisburg has had 70 now uncontested. Saints haven't really been able to make it out of their spawn. I mean, realistically, we saw the Saints do the exact same thing to Harrisburg. It's not unexpected. It's kind of how these maps play out in the end a lot of the time. But use that Transcendence, try to push forward onto this site. There's one pick down, Moira down. Crime should be able to get into this back line. He picks off both the supports. That should be a good push for the Saints. You just got to take down Elk here. That slippery Tracer, you never want them to be there on that contest. Overtime ticking away. Who made it on? It's the Sombra. Has to teleport back out, though. Noxious just getting chased around. Crime's going to finish them off. That might be it. Will it be it is the question. Harrisburg, these last second contests just keep coming through. Every single time that overtime counter gets so close to the end.
Yeah, so close yet so far here. Saints trying to just get rid of that overtime timer, get rid of these last few straggling members of Harrisburg, and that is going to be it. Round 1 is going to go to the Saints.
Almost like a zoning pulse bomb there from Crime at the end, but it does actually end up working because then you're only worried about Elk on that point. You clear out that Tracer, and that overtime timer ticks down to 0, and you find yourself that first round. Now, moving on to this next point. Honestly, it's going to be interesting to see because we all know how Runes kind of plays out. There's always going to be that spawn trapping, that long-range shutdowns there at that short choke where you only have really 2 to 3 options to try and make it to that point. But here, now that we're on, I'm going to blank on this one, Lighthouse, I believe it is. Not well. I know it's not well for sure, but Lighthouse, Crime doing the classic Symmetra start there on that TP. Going to go straight back to the Tracer. Both teams going to be meeting right around this point. Long range shots to go out. Crime looks like he wants to get on a little bit of a flank here. Meets 2 players up top. Still has all his abilities to work with. Got an Orb of Harmony on him as well. Not really concerned about a whole ton of damage, but you do have to make sure you don't get bursted down by a Tracer ball combo there.
Absolutely. Very dangerous indeed. Emran trying to just do a little bit of poke damage here. See if he can spray down anybody. So close, but not quite enough. Gonna actually take out Chef Big Dog on the Zenyatta there. Almost takes out the Tracer, but she heals just in time.
Yeah, those railgun shots come through for 1 pick from Emran, but both supports down now for the Saints. They are able to pick up the point itself, but the question is how long can you hold it when Squeak and everyone else has no support here, no heals to really speak of. The contestants are going to start coming through from there from Akawa. Actually shuts down Crime as well. Crime, no recall left, can't make it back on. No dashes to be able to make it back either. Squeak with like 3 different orbs on him there. He had Harmony, he had Discord, he was healing, he was taking extra damage. Noxious picks up 2. He's able to shut down Squeak and Arjunk. Red X falls as well. A much tighter game here at the starting, much more back and forth to start off this round. Both teams around that quarter mark for the point. Harrisburg going to be grabbing the lead now as Saints wait on these respawns, try to make possibly an attack from above here. Yeah,
we're going to see, I think, some swaps coming through here for the Saints. Just going to try something new. Oh, that is a huge EMP.
Huge EMP from behind. Noxious, Akawa, Elk, they each pick up 1. Elk following out Squeak and Crime here. Saints, tough position to be in. Every single time you finally have your regroup going, you have your ultimates ready. Crime's been sitting on this pulse bomb, I believe. Yeah, there's the rally, there's the overclock. They've got so much resources to work with, but they can't make it out onto that point. You don't want to just be using your ultimates just to make it out of your spawn. Realistically, they have to make it to the actual point here. The mines are going to come down. Noxious the only one on point. Gonna get sprayed down by Squeak. Crime picks up the 1 support with that pulse bomb. Akawa still alive, still putting in work on this map. Shuts down Emran, but the Saints grab the point back. Not before Harrisburg gets themselves nice and up to 75 there. Pick starting to come out. Chase him down, Crime. Those last 2 bullets are going to be good. Elk falls. Chief Big Dog fell to Squeak earlier. Now, Saints, a little bit of priority to maybe get some setups started. Squeak kind of in an interesting position here on this ledge. I just think this looks so funny when you see the ball parkour around as a literal hamster ball.
Yeah, it's so funny, especially like just trying to be sneaky when you're just this giant metal ball.
Yeah, not exactly the essence of stealth, if I say so myself, but it often works to catch people off guard. Right behind both supports here, Chief Big Dog getting pretty low. He is going to get shut down by Emeren with that overclock popped. Emeren, can you make it out though? Emeren for 2. Crime shuts down Elk. That's 3 down. A 4th one should be coming through as well. 75% now evened up by the Saints with a team wipe off the back of that. You're going to easily secure 80, possibly 85 before any Harrisburg members even come back for a contest.
That Sojourn ult is so infuriating when you when you see it up close. It's just headshot, okay, dead. Headshot, dead. You just keep going. It's infuriating to play against, but it is really fun to play as. So.
And it's crazy too, even with the changes to the railgun a while back where it's not a one-shot headshot on just any squishy in the game, it's still, I mean, you need 1 or 2 ticks of damage on them. You need to hit 1 or 2 hits with that left click. You see the headshot come through on Noxious. Noxious taking maybe 30 damage there, and the headshot is going to come through. It is going to finish them off. 99% on overtime. Elk trying to be the one to contest this out. Tracer, as slippery as you can be, it's not going to work in the end. St. Clair College 2-0 here on Ilios. That's going to be map 1. 1-0 in the series as well, and since it's a best of 3, that's going to be match point as well.
Yeah, looks like Squeak is going to get the play of the game here. As Ball going to boop some people off map.
Too.
Yeah, that was like the first few seconds.
Actually, the first engagement of the entire series is going to be the play of the game there. But I mean, it's what started them off to that path to victory in round 1. They were able to secure the point off of that, bring it all the way to 99 before Harrisburg could even grab it. So play of the game, pretty valuable there from Squeak, but that's going to be 1-0. We're going to have to see what map we head to next. It should be a hybrid map, possibly Kings Row. It looks like that's what we're looking at in lobby here, but we're going to send it to a quick little break as we finalize everything. Everyone gets ours through in lobby, and we will be back with map 2, possibly the decider of the series. Harrisburg backs against the wall now in the best of 3. You got to try and tie it up 1-1. Saints looking to take this 2-0 and continue on with their undefeated streak here in the Overwatch Collegiate Homecoming. We'll come back with map 2.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in round 2 of game 1 today, which is against Harrisburg University, or series 1 rather. So it looks like St. Clair is 1-0 in this series so far.
Squeak pulling out this, let's say the patented Rhine here on King's Row. That's a huge Maywall. You got to take down the Immortality Shield. Noxus does fall before, but Squeak super, super low. Elk on the May is going to be putting in work. Shuts down Squeak. Grabbed another kill in the meantime as well. Crime, can you get this 1v1 off against Elk? He's going to fall from the slow. Emerin, the last line of defense here with these icicles, has to try and pin some heads there. So he tries to move up to this bridge area, possibly grab another angle on this point, but now that we're getting later and later into these rounds in this Collegiate Championship here, I'm expecting these King's Row games to be long, because we all know how King's Row works. If you don't grab the first point, that's usually where it ends. But if you do grab that point, we're going all the way to checkpoint 3. We're heading all the way to the end usually. And Harrisburg came out the gate swinging, and they're able to pick up first point very, very quickly. Over 5 minutes to work with now as they push this alley.
Yeah, like you said, this is one of those maps that once you get a little bit of momentum, it's very easy to just carry it on. As you can see, they're already pushing the map. Like, you have to go and stand on checkpoint 2 pretty much if you want any, or the first checkpoint rather, if you want any chance of saving this this cart from reaching the end.
That's the thing, they kind of just have to, the Saints, at least here on defense, pretty well just have to let this push through. They come for the regroup, window v window, back up, Maywall's back and forth. The Blizzard does come through, and that's going to be 2 kills for the Saints. Actually, the regroup working out very, very well for the Saints off the start there, just grabbing their players back, coming back as 5 and using up only a few ultimates. You've still got the Shatter available. I don't think any support ultimates were used there necessarily, other than the window from Arjunk. Beat could be online for Redx. He's actually going to be around 75, so still got to put in a little bit of work in some fights, but up in soon, to say the least. Deadeye going to come out, and he actually finds one on the kill before that hammer down comes through. Squeak somehow still alive in this fight, pulls up the shield. Not going to be enough against a poop from Divio, though. That's going to be, should have been a wipe there on point. Arjunk going to be that last player to fall, and that might be it, at least for this first checkpoint. Saints going to have to make a big, big hold here at the end.
Yeah, it looks like they are having a little bit of a rough time so far here. We're seeing Saints, again, sitting far back, trying to stop this payload, but there isn't much cover you can really take other than exactly where they are.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue. You have to play this choke, but the choke doesn't necessarily lend well, especially when there is a Blizzard in the background. Squeak try to make as much as they can, but with 2 Immortality Fields, the only person to fall is going to be Crime and Squeak. Akawa putting in work on this Reinhardt. Noxious, that's the whole team wipe to come through. Akawa with, I think, 4 in that fight total. Noxious finds 1 with that homing grenade. That's going to be second point grab. That's a lot more time given over to Harrisburg. This is what we're talking about. I mean, once the first point is captured on King's Row, you can expect us to be here at some point in the round.
Exactly. It's just a never-ending
cycle.
Yeah, exactly. You get to the very end, and then the next team, if they get to the very end, you're just going and going and going until somebody eventually chokes.
Sometimes it comes down to actual meters in Overwatch. The
yeah.
difference between the win and the loss is just some crazy contest. There's the Blizzard to come out from, I believe that's Emerin on the May. That's going to clear off the point for a little bit. Window is still up. You got to be weary of that if you're the Saints. Crime playing very back here, whipping a lot of shots, actually.
So unlucky.
Homing grenade going to come through. Crime playing this angle very, very tricky, but there's the Deadeye. 2 players down. That's one of your supports and one of your DPS as well. Redx tries to get in there on that Baptiste, tries to close range as much as he can, but you can't save Squeak with all of that damage on the board. That might just be it. The Saints, you gotta try and res in time. Crime on this Widowmaker, can't find the shots to land, even with that Harmony Orb, still has to stop the peak, heal up a little bit, but Harrisburg, this is a 1.25 meter contest. Saints, the second you hop off of this point, Harrisburg has found it. 2 kills come through from Akawa. Noxious shuts down Crime on that Cassidy as well, and that's an easy 3-0 for Harrisburg with 2 minutes and 54 seconds remaining.
That was an extremely fast round. That's one of the things, like you said, with this specific map and a lot of the hybrid maps I find is that they can be extremely fast if you start snowballing. If you are able to just get that momentum at the beginning of the round, you can keep going, like get that point, you just keep pushing the payload and you're good. I find that too with push maps sometimes. If you have the momentum, you can do that, but we're not talking about push maps, we're talking about Kings Row, and that happens a lot on this map.
Yeah, I think once you get cleared out once, I mean, the Saints found the one team fight over in the alley, and then they were just a little bit too far up, tried to hold those spawns, and the second 2 or 3 players get down. As the defense, you spawn so far back on Kings Row, you're just staggered for so long, it ends up being that second checkpoint, or I guess that, yeah, that first checkpoint, like you had pointed out there. You end up grabbing that really quickly, and then Harrisburg had 4 minutes to push it, what, 50, 60 meters till that final point. Saints constantly getting shut down by Akawa on that Reinhardt, just getting in there, swinging that hammer, and putting the damage in where it's necessary. The long-range DPSs, whether it been that Cassidy that Crime was playing, the Widowmaker, the Mei, you know, typically these characters that you're not expecting to just be jumped on by a Rein or really get into that melee range just ended up getting shut down super, super easily. Akawa putting in work on the Rein, and Squeak gonna have to show it back to them right now if they want to make their mark in this game, or maybe send a bit of a message to Harrisburg that the Saints aren't done with this map just yet. There's a pin to come out, but Akawa still on that kill feed. Squeak down super low. There's the fire strike to finish him off.
Not much Squeak could really do there. Kind of trapped in a corner, couldn't get to that health pack in time, but the rest of the team has respawned. They're grouping up. Looks like Squeak is coming along as well, so time for a new push, a new start.
Yeah, Harrisburg playing this Kings Row almost perfectly. That's a great wall from Emeren. Should cut off the rest of Harrisburg for the foreseeable future, but Emeren shut down in the hotel. That's an entire team wipe. Harrisburg, Kings Row, putting it all on the line after going down pretty, I won't say easily, because technically both the percents were pretty high in that control map, but it was a 2-0 there in control. Harrisburg, however, on Kings Row saying, all right, Saints, like, take a step back a little. We're trying to take it to map 3 here. We're not done with this series just yet. Both of these teams yet to be defeated here in this bracket. Neither of them want this round to be that first loss on their record. Saints, though, 2:25 to work with. Ultimate's about to be up. Squeak about to grab that hammer down. This is when it has to happen. The window comes through. It's shut down by a wall. There's one. Only the tank grab. Noxious with 2 from the Deadeye. Saints falling apart at the choke here. Cannot make it past that statue.
Yeah, looking pretty rough for Saints right now. Gonna have to regroup and try that one again. 2 minutes left on the clock. Still time, but they need to find a way to break through the defenses of Harrisburg University.
The big concern is just how fast Harrisburg was able to grab everything. Their attacking round didn't last much longer than 2 minutes total, whereas Saints haven't even been able to find a tick on this A point on this initial capture in now almost 2.5, 3 minutes to come through, and there was so much time to work with for Harrisburg. Even if Saints do find this capture, Harrisburg still not going to have to stall out too much time. Squeak makes it out of the blizzard there, and he's on A. This could actually be the rally that the Saints were looking for. Maybe it just required Squeak to get on that ball for a little bit. I mean, we've talked about how solid the character is right now and how Squeak's been so comfortable on him. Emeren on this point has to dash out. 11 health, falls to Noxious's grenade. Squeak in the corner, left in a 1v2, 1v3 position. Redx is there to support him, however. Squeak, look at the health, going back up. Not done just yet, but 55 seconds and no progress on this point.
So close to victory here for Saints if they win this game, but so far. Looks like Elk gonna try to slow down Squeak here. Squeak's gonna pop the mines, move into the back line.
This is the classic Squeak maneuver on the ball. Just get in there and cause absolute havoc in that team's backline, whether you're getting the tank out of position, whether you're knocking those supports away to not be able to heal their team. There's so many options. Crime shuts down one, takes down that immortality field as well. Arjunk from behind, trying to provide the support necessary. Squeak still going to be alive for the time being. 15 seconds, and the capture really starts now. Saints, you used up all your time. You should be able to, emphasis on should, be able to grab this A point. And I mean, yeah, I don't think Harrisburg can really respawn in time. You've got Squeak. You can see him in that X-ray so far up there, ready to cause some more disruption, let's say. He's right behind this team as well. Emran's got that overclock available, too.
He's doing sneaky wrecking ball things, so we'll have to trust his judgment, see what he is up to. Looks like everybody is kind of crowded into this little corner. Emran trying to see if he can get one pick here, narrow them down a little bit, make it a 4v5 for the side of Harrisburg.
Somebody's in that back line. Is it Squeak? Squeak's going to cause havoc. Knocks up about 3. Overclock comes through from Emran.
Oh.
There's the hammer down. Shut down. Emran. Ultimate for ultimate. Akawa finds 2. 1 with the charge as well. That's a huge team wipe to come through. 4 players down. Who's the last one alive is the question. Oh, it's Emran. Just on that respawn. Fell super early in that fight. Wasn't even in the kill feed really to be there at the end, but
Oh my god!
nope. Did they really just lose him, or were they just too concerned about the respawning players? I actually want to know, because
I have no idea. I
no way he's
wasn't
that
expecting him to hide. Yeah, I was going to say, he just hopped down and they were like, where'd he go?
Emran actually causing a good couple ticks of damage there. Possibly getting on a flank here. Noxious sending the shots back towards Emran. Beat's gonna be dropped. Returned by Harrisburg. There's the Blizzard down as well. Noxious so solid on this Cassidy. Crime finally gonna take them down, but you saw the strafes, you saw the shots, and you saw that finish with the grenade. Now it's just gonna have to be Saints. You have to find the better of these kills, or else this King's Row is gonna be out of your hand long before it's even close to going to overtime here. Crime pushed off the point. Squeak is down. They don't really have much to work with. Squeak back in there. Now has to make this contest happen. Crime, this pulse bomb has to be huge. I'm not really sure what else the Saints have to work with at this point. You don't have time. You're going to be stuck at a point where you're forced onto that point, can't really get off because of overtime. Right now is when you have to make these clears happen.
Absolutely. We did see the Junkrat swap there, so something could be cooking up on the side of Saints. We'll have to see. Squeak able to take out Akawa, but they are down 1 healer on the side of the Saints, so this is a little bit tricky for them.
I mean, Emran Junkrat, we've seen it before. We've seen it put some absolutely insane plays up on the screen for us. But the question is the switch this late actually going to be viable? Will it throw off Harrisburg is the question, too. That's a big knock-up from Squeak. Look at the shields he's able to grab. Over 800 health to his name there. The push starting to come through. It's a contest on this point. Akawa getting in. Squeak, you have to be the one to shut down this Reinhardt. You can't allow him to get into your backline. He shut down Arjunk. He shut down Redix so quickly in many of these fights. You have to be the one to save, to provide that peel. Noxious with the Deadeye. That might be all she wrote there. That is going to be a 3-1 for Harrisburg University. King's Row absolutely dominating the Saints on it.
Absolutely. Looking great on the side of Harrisburg here. We're going to see Noxious on that Cassidy as our play of the game. Just absolutely dominant player. That's all I can really say, is that it was just an amazing, amazing performance on that Cassidy. You
could pick 3 or 4 different Deadeyes, different plays there from Noxious that were play of the game worthy and really turning points in that game. Every single time that Harrisburg, even on the attack, we talked about how swift their attack was and how, yes, it was a really dominant round from them and they were just able to keep going and snowball, but oftentimes it was because Noxious came through and found 1 headshot pick, maybe a Deadeye kill or 2 like we saw in the play, and then just tossing that grenade into that last support, whether it be Emeren at 15 HP or Redix trying to run away on that Lucio and just shutting them down. And those picks, those staggered picks, were huge from Noxious to make the attack as solid as it was. And then, of course, we saw on the defense there as well, those window combos with the Deadeye just cannot be matched in the end. And we are actually going to be going into our third map here. Believe this one is going to be Rialto. That's one that we actually haven't seen in a while here from in terms of push maps. I guess, yeah, this one is just straight payload, no hybrid, no capture necessary. Rialto, you got 3 points to grab. Saints going to be starting off on that defense. Actually, a Pharmacy to come out at the start here. I mean, we don't see this often in Overwatch 2, to say the least. It's something that I feel like was kind of left in that first game, but at the same time, sometimes you pick it up, and sometimes the damage just starts flying through. The question is, we saw how solid, specifically Noxious, I'm concerned about. We saw how solid they were on that Cassidy. Is the Pharmacy really the right pick here? Already taking a ton of damage, but Emeren able to play pretty sneakily around these buildings. Pretty slippery, staying out of sight for the time being.
Yeah, that is what you need to do as Pharah, especially with these Pharmacy matchups, is you need to make sure that you are using your cover to your advantage.
Yeah, 100%. And Rialto, a solid map to be able to do that. A lot of sight lines you can cut off just by hiding behind a corner, getting over one of those roofs. And as Pharah, you're kind of one of the only characters that has access to those routes, to those lanes, and those rotations. So it is going to be solid, at least to get out of the way of that Cassidy there. Noxious putting in work in the back line, forcing out that rewind there from, I believe it's Crime on that Tracer. Emeren, though, has yet to really get super tagged down by anyone here. Noxious knocked off by Emeren's Concussion Blast as well. But still, first point payload being pushed forward ever so slowly by Harrisburg.
That was so close. Squeak was just trying to thread the needle there on that drop, but it didn't quite work. Chef Big Dog gonna take out Crime. That Moira suck is just the worst. It's the worst. I mean, as a support player, I feel bad when I use it. I just feel bad.
Been there. I can kind of agree with you, but at the same time, love to get kills without trying, and it's a perfect counter to that Tracer who's just been running rampant in the back line. Okay, I'll just use a character where I don't necessarily have to aim at you. I kind of just follow your general direction, and I'm able to get guaranteed damage over time there. Chief Big Dog actually getting chased down by Crime, but you see how low Crime gets just by that Moira being there realistically. He is going to be shut down by Emeren. Emeren for 2. Squeak knocks Elk off the map as well. Should be able to stop this first point for now, maybe actually push it back a few meters here.
Yeah, Squeak has his ultimate ready here. We'll have to see if we'll see the mines come through in this fight. Most likely. Looks like our Pharmacy is going to be moving up a little bit too to try to get some of these kills. Squeak gonna drop down onto the Cassidy. Not gonna find anything there, but a little bit of damage.
Squeak has just been doing this for the past like 3 weeks on this ball. Just get in, knock up as many players as you can, do as much damage, and then once he gets to that 400 health mark, he's like, okay, I gotta go back in and get healed back up to 700 or more, depending on what shields and armor I have available at the time. Arjunk, Anti actually gonna go a little bit wide, can't save Redix in the end. Those are picks to come through from Elk. 3 to come down. Divio falls to Squeak, but Squeak, only so much you can do. You're just stalling for time at this point. You know you're going to get staggered out. At least stall that first point as much as you can. 3:25 is going to be the timing after the first point is grabbed. But the Saints, they're slowing it down for sure. They're not stopping the push entirely, and that's kind of expected given the fact that it is a long map. You've still got a ton to work with, and realistically, this corner, this area that Emeren's playing at, this is the map.
Yeah.
That corner right there is Rialto. That's where you play 90% of the game. Almost like that ending there on King's Row in that first checkpoint. It's like, yeah, there's stuff in between, but how much gameplay do you really actually get there? This could be a huge flank ultimate from Emeren.
Oh.
Finds 2. Can you find the 3rd? Pick it up. Akawa with the mines does shut down Redix, but Emeren on that flank, making it happen for the Saints right now. The Pharah coming through, very, very valuable for the Saints. And, you know, after, I'll admit it, I questioned it at the starting of the game. I mean, Fair Mercy, you don't see it very often, but Emeren showing why he's got the hero pool.
Oh, absolutely. I love seeing those fire plays too, where you pull off a big flank, nobody sees it, and you just kill like the entire team.
And they're so concerned about Squeak inside of that main building there, that almost like museum building, that nobody is concerned, yeah, about the Pharah flying behind them, even though, yes, there's kind of audio cues on the jetpack, but you're more concerned about this big giant hamster ball. Elk and Akawa getting right in Emeren's face, however, shuts him down in the end. Squeak not able to live on that point for long enough. Saints might have to give up this second one. And that's unfortunate because typically you want that second point. You want this corner to be the point that you hold for a good chunk of time. This is a contest that they're trying to get through. Squeak gonna get in there. I'm expecting a knock-up to start this one off. Arjunk with one pick onto the enemy DPS. Akawa in the backline on his own ball. But the team more so concerned about keeping Squeak alive. Redix just standing on this point, flailing around, seeing if he can grab any points, any heals for the team there in the end. Emeren switched up to the Sombra. Actually going to be good to get control of a lot of these health packs around the map, as well as just cause disruption as Sombra would in general in the backline. Maybe shut down Noxious as well and just teleport right back out.
Especially against that ball, being able to hack those health packs from him could be detrimental to that game.
That's true, actually. The half of Ball's game plan is soak as much damage as possible, use your grappling hook to just swing back out to a health pack and gain a quick 250 or more even with that Sombra. So you got to remember those hacked health packs giving extra health in comparison to the regulars. The mines are dropped over here on the stairs. Harrisburg going to be caught in a corner. Two players kind of just stuck with each other. The question is, will they be cleared out? They're tanking so much damage, but that Kiriko keeping them alive for as long as possible. Akawa coming out swinging, shuts down both the DPS. Saints might have a tough time continuing this contention unless Squeak can make it back to that full health. Gonna get on Squeak, the king of contesting at 2-3 meters and keeping it alive for as long as possible. Look at the time now. We went from thinking Harrisburg was going to grab this point at a minute 50 to now 0 seconds. Overtime on the line. Harrisburg might not be able to grab the second point.
Yeah, this is looking dicey here for Harrisburg. That's going to be overtime over. We're going to go into round 2. Saints on attack.
Okay, well, I mean, there's going to be no overtime now. Nobody hit 3. This is the deciding round, Amanda. This is going to determine who is going to lose that undefeated scoreline here in the Overwatch Collegiate Championship Spring 2023. Harrisburg University, St. Clair College, both teams putting up a fight for the ages right now. Harrisburg ended up losing that first map 2-0, comes back absolutely swinging on Kings Row, a map that the Saints are usually super, super comfortable on, which is interesting to see the Saints take such a beating on Kings Row. I mean, it's a map that we're used to seeing them dominate on, so Harrisburg really putting up a challenge for the Saints right now, but they, pun intended, they squeak it out in the end. Squeak on that point. He's able to shut down the second tick, and now Saints, you've really what? Yeah, you've only got 102 meters you've got to push this card. It's only going to take 1 or 2 good team wipes at the starting, and then you just get to play that same choke that the Saints were holding down super, super solidly last round. But now the Saints, they have to be the one to break through this time. They have to be the difference maker in the fights, and possibly Squeak on that ball just has to continue his disruption, continue knocking Harrisburg supports out of the way, because just taking even someone like a Kiriko who can TP back, taking them out of the fight, forcing them to use up that cleanse, anything of the sort, just taking resources from those Harrisburg supports and a few of the DPS as well, using up that Tracer Rewind, things like that off of Elk. All of those just kind of added to that long range, or I guess long time stall that the Saints were able to grab. Now you kind of just want to do the opposite and make it so that you are the team being able to grab all of that.
Yeah, again, we're going to see a Farmer seat coming through here with Redix and Emeren. Gonna see if they can make anything work here. Not gonna be able to find any kills. Squeak is gonna find Elk though on that Torbjorn.
Akawa though still taking down Saints left and right. Actually finds a charge onto Crime. Crime couldn't dash his way out of that one. Noxious in the corner getting absolutely bopped around by Squeak here. Emerin should be able to make it back to full health. Akawa soaks up that concussion blast, not gonna knock anyone out of the way. Emerin looks like they were gonna be in a tough situation, but right back to full health after an Orb of Harmony and that Mercy Beam with them. Now you can see, believe that's Crime and Squeak in the backline, just absolutely wreaking havoc on both the Tracer and the Ball. It's such a great dive, not even a comp, it's kind of just a dive duo, a dive pair.
Yeah.
In this comp, as the rest of the team is able to just hold down the payload itself, as Squeak on that Ball, Crime on the Tracer, move into the back line. Of course, you've got the res should Emerin ever come down. It does come through, and that's what I'm talking about. One good team wipe. First point should be all theirs. Arjunk playing up on that bridge, playing the long range game, making sure this contest doesn't come through. Akawa with the charge. Gonna be the first one to maybe make this contest, but first point, it's not gonna be grabbed. There's Akawa to actually make it in.
There we go. Crime gonna have that pulse bomb ready. Kirko ult gonna come through. This could be big.
Pulse bomb.
Oh, he gets Divio. Able to pull that off.
Yeah, he finds one onto Divio there. Squeak's Mines finally going to put in work. Really good at splitting off the team there. Akawa just barely not able to find the pixel on that charge. He does hit the door frame in the end. Chief Big Dog on the site. 2 supports left on this point. 0.12 meters to contest. Elk shuts down Redix. You've got to shut down Elk right now. He's overclocked. The beat is going to be dropped. And Harrisburg, you've made this contest happen. You've held the point. Congratulations. You're going to have a lot more time to work with in this game.
However, they did use a handful of ultimates to get that, so it could be
very true. A
little bit detrimental to Harrisburg. Now they're without those ultimates. Saints do have those ultimates, especially that far ultimate on Emerin. Going to be able to come through here. Actually, Emerin going to fall to Elk. You're going to see the Shatter come through. Crime going to get taken out as well. And Harrisburg is just cleaning up the Saints right now.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, you had mentioned the ultimates used there. Oh, there's the from the skies from above. Farah trying to rain down those rockets. It's not going to work out for any kills in the end, but Emerin, this movement is unmatched right now. Even someone like a Ryan who, you know, is able to just get those melee swings off, gonna have a hard time hitting Emerin in the end. But Redix and Emerin are down. The Pharmacy is down. And the kills keep coming through. Squeak dropping those mines, does find Noxious. That's a big pick to be had, but 11 health on Squeak. Can't really make anything else happen in this fight. Squeak playing up above on the arches, playing a long rotation, trying to get every single health pack on the map before making this final contestation. Saints, you can't give this up right now. You have to make the push. Now we're in overtime. This is it, overtime for the series. 1-1. Squeak still soaking up a lot of damage, but Arjunk and Redix are down. That's all the supports down from the Saints. Squeak, the last line of defense, as it's only the 2 DPS left. Crime and Emerin gonna fall. That should be overtime, and that is gonna be the 2-1 victory. I guess technically the reverse sweep as well from Harrisburg University, as they were down 1-0 and take those 2 maps straight. It's a 2-1 Harrisburg University victory.
We're actually going to see a support play here from Arjunk on that Zenyatta.
I mean, he was clicking heads. I saw him in the kill feed a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, he was definitely clicking heads and also kicking heads by the look of it.
I love that new Zen. I guess not new anymore. I keep saying new when it's like anything from Overwatch 2, but yeah, we've been in this for months now. But just that melee, the fact that it pushes back players so far, it's just hilarious to me. It also made Zen feel a little bit safer to play. I feel like you kind of have something to do when somebody just dives on top of you. If there's a Genji right on top of you, you don't have to just get all of your balls deflected and just sit there and soak the damage that Genji is just going to lay down. But that's going to be 2-1 for Harrisburg University. 4-1 scoreline now for the Saints. Next up on the horizon is going to be Kennesaw State. Not sure what their record is going to be after their round 5 today, but we will update that with you in the pregame there for that next one. But 2-1 is going to be a victory for Harrisburg. Anything else to say, Amanda, before we send it off to a quick little break here before our 3 o'clock game?
Just a great reverse sweep by Harrisburg. Great to watch.
Yeah, honestly, Akawa, I really am impressed by the tank there. I mean, we've seen a lot of big tank plays and a lot of value coming through from the tanks after the switch to one tank and just like on the whole revamp of Overwatch 2, but I mean, he was just putting in work. Every fight, it seemed like 2 or 3 kills to come through, whether he was on the ball or that Reinhardt. Just something that we see Squeak do a lot, and it's almost nice to see a team come and just do it right back to the Saints, give them a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. But 2-1 is that final scoreline. We'll return with round 6. That's going to be Saints versus Kennesaw State after a quick little break.